I need to make a disclaimer before I start this video. This organization was trash from the start and I do not support it. I will always support the ancient pagan value of freedom of religion, and this organization did not support this fundamental pagan value at all. It acted like the Christianity that it hated. Everybody mentioned in this video is problematic, and this video is being done for historical reasons only. I will be covering the political history of the Ragnarok Circle and its journal Ragnarok in this video. I will be making this video YouTube friendly and briefly covering many of its members. I will also link some free academic articles on this organization in the description box of this video. I was going to include some historical photos, but their copyright status was questionable, so I opted not to include them. Our story starts with a man named Erling Winsness. He was born in 1893 and passed away in 1935. He was not a member of the Ragnarok Circle, but he managed to write 2 books within his lifetime. The first book was published in 1919, and it was called To an Unknown God. His second book would be published in 1925, and it would be called The Next State. Both of these books would end up being highly influential on the people that founded the Ragnarok Circle. One could argue that Erling is the grandfather of the Ragnarok Circle, and without him this organization might not have existed. The founders used his works to try and create a religion that could rival Christianity and eventually take over Norway with it. Hans Solgaard Jacobsen was born in 1901 and passed away in 1980. He was the founder of the Ragnarok Journal and a leading member of Norway's National Samling. The National Samling is Norway's version of Germany's main political party at the time. This party was founded by Vidkun Quisling and had ties to the Austrian painter. Hans worked under Quisling for a while, but they would eventually end up being at odds with each other. Quisling was a Christian and Jacobsen was a pagan. Jacobsen wanted racial nationalism, Germanic cultural identity, rejection of Christianity, neo-paganism, pan-Germanic cooperation, radical social restructuring, and National Socialism without Quisling involved. The Jacobsen faction of the National Samling would end up losing to Quisling, and this would cause him to create the journal Ragnarok in 1935. The Ragnarok Circle believed in many different things. They were neo-pagans before anything else. They openly opposed Christianity and wanted a modern, Germanic religion. They created Norse-inspired rituals. They believed in a spiritual and psychological type of race. Their views on race were not just biological. They believed that Norway came first, but also wanted pan-Germanism to thrive. The Ragnarok Circle is viewed as a right-wing organization, but this comes down to how you personally view socialism. Most of its economic policies could be viewed as leftist policies. This includes economic planning, public ownership, social welfare, class cooperation, taxation of high incomes, and state-directed economic development. Jacobsen opposed Quisling because he was not radical enough. He would eventually oppose the Austrian painter as well, because he realized Germany wanted an empire. The Ragnarok Circle thought Germany wanted a Germanic federation. The Circle would end up fighting on both sides of the war. They would side with Germany for a time, but they also sided with the Finnish people and became part of the resistance in the end. Germany's occupation of Norway would end up becoming intolerable for them, and it forced them to act. The Ragnarok Circle and its journal collapsed after World War II ended. This is important to know because this organization was a Norwegian phenomenon. It was a standalone event that started in the 1930s and ended in the 1940s. It has nothing to do with modern Norse paganism or the founding of Odinism. I had to cut a lot of history out of this video because it's not YouTube friendly. I don't want my channel to get a strike, but there's enough open source material on this organization if you want to know more about it. There is also a lot of scholarly work done on this organization. if you have access to an academic library of some sort. I would like to cover the major players for the next part of this video. Hans Solgaard Jacobsen was the key player to this organization. He was the founder of Ragnarok and the editor. He was behind the political and intellectual framework. Per Immersland was next up on the totem pole. He was a writer, journalist, neo-pagan, and participated in the Spanish Civil War. Geir Tveit was the Circle's cultural guy. He was responsible for the Circle's music, aesthetics, mythology, and cultural nationalism. Stein was a painter, writer, and one of the more racialist pagans within this group. Otto was a lawyer and businessman. He was the one to take this group into the resistance movement. Walter First worked on propaganda and was an advertising executive. Johann was politically associated with the Ragnarok Circle, but he was not a member of it. He was head of Herd. This is the paramilitary organization for the National Samling. There are dozens of other people involved with this organization, but I think these are the most important ones to know. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic day or night.